Aloha, everyone. Welcome to Hawaii Abroad Audio Podcast. This is a place where you can listen, learn, and understand Hawaii's people and its place. I'm your host, Auntie Max, and on this show, I release 2 episodes each week. Topics on Mondays, which I call Mana'o Monday, shares Hawaiian culture lessons, and on Fridays, which I call Aloha Friday, I highlight former Hawaii residents by talking story with them about their relocation journey and experiences. My goal is to share the stories so we can all learn about each other and understand the different situations, because the more we know, the more we grow. Today I'm talking story with a native Hawaiian born and raised in Waimanalo Homestead, who graduated from Kailua High School and played music practically all his life. He's now living in Fremont, California, and I'm going to allow him to start by introducing himself and sharing his background. Then we'll talk story more about his journey. So let's get started. Hui, aloha Pomaikaʻi, mahalo for being here.
Max, how are you?
I'm good, my ka'i. Mahalo so much for joining me today.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh yes, of course. So let's just get right into it. Can you start with just share with us a little bit about you? Tell us where you're originally from, where you reside now, and how you became a resident of Fremont, California.
Okay. Aloha. My name is John David Pomaikaʻi Andre-Puli. I go by JD or Pomaikaʻi. Born and raised in Waimanalo on Oahu. Went to Kailua High School, graduated in 2004. Ended up moving away to college here in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's a small school called Menlo College. It's in Atherton, California. I went to school there from 2004 to 2008. Got my bachelor's degree in mass communications, concentration in media studies. And ever since then, I've been living in California, working and playing music, Hawaiian music mainly. I did reggae too, and dabble in other genres. But that's how I relocated, and I lived in Atherton, California, Hayward, California, and now in Fremont, California for almost 6 years. It's all in the San Francisco Bay Area. All of it about 35 minutes away from San Francisco. I enjoy living here. Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah.
My ka'i. So I was wondering, how was that relocation process? I mean, what type of services did you have to use, like moving companies or shipping, your flights, and so on?
So back then, I remember it just like it was yesterday, August 2nd. It was a Friday night. Me and my mom and my roommate was also my classmate and teammate from Kailua High School. We all flew out on ATA, American Transair, not around anymore. But we flew up and didn't come with much from home. I did not want to leave Hawaii. I was crying like a big baby, 330 pounds of me, 6'3" at the airport. I remember kissing my dad, and I remember that, and just leaving on the plane. Being a musician, I start to think of all these songs like Flying, or what is the other song? There's another song for See a Kid I can't.
Honolulu City Lights?
Honolulu City Lights, yeah, from Keola and Kapona
There
Bima.
you go.
Yeah, all those songs start coming in my head at that time, and I didn't want to leave, but took the leap of faith, and yeah, I'm still here almost 18 years later, a couple of weeks, like 18 years. And yeah, I didn't leave with much from Hawaii. Went to Target to buy a lot of stuff. Beddings and refrigerator, hot plate that we're not supposed to have inside our dorms, but gotta make spam, every now and then. But that was a relocation, and after graduating, I ended up having a pretty good independent foothold here in the Bay Area. So when I first moved on my own, it's actually me and my girlfriend, who's also from Hawaii, originally from Papakolea on Oahu. We moved together. We're living together for 8 years now, and Yeah, most of the stuff it wasn't a planned move or planned long-term stay. I've been singing the same story for years now. Yeah, maybe 2 more years to live in the mainland and move home. But yeah, I enjoy it, especially this being in the Hawaiian community with music and working with a
Uh-huh.
lot of halau. Um, it's like I'm at home. As you can tell, my pigeon is still pretty strong. So
Nice.
yeah, yeah, that was the initial move for college. Was for football, then college.
Yeah, so it was school and other
Yeah,
opportunities mostly,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
N- Nice, nice. Okay. Well, since we're talking about, going up there and about
Hmm.
Hawaii, I mean, what are some comparisons that you might have that you notice living abroad, living away from Hawaii compared to living at home? Just being in
Hmm.
different areas. Is there different things or similar that you could
Um,
share?
oh yeah, there's a lot. Like the cost of living here in the San Francisco Bay Area, especially as you go south towards San Jose and the Silicon Valley, it's very comparable, like cost of living wise. But the difference for Californians, Californians, yeah, is the living wages. So, like in different counties, there's different minimum wage. So we live in Alameda County. I'm not sure exactly what the minimum wage is, but it's definitely higher than Hawaii. But if you're going to Santa Clara County, where San Jose is, I think the best way I can compare it is so I used to work for Hawaiian Airlines. My girlfriend still works for Hawaiian Airlines. She works out of San Francisco Airport. I used to work out of Oakland. And at that time, the difference in wages was, I believe we were $14 back in 2014, 14.45. San Francisco was like 15, and then San Jose was like close to $18 because all the tech companies they drive up the cost of living, they drive up minimum wage. So I believe now I want to say San Jose is close to, or if not over $21 for a customer service agent for Hawaiian Airlines. Just to kind of see the compare that to Hawaii. I know the minimum wage in Hawaii really low and hard for our local people because I know in Hawaii a lot of local families moving away. Hard to hard to make it in Hawaii without having multiple jobs. Um, Another difference I see, my favorite difference is the weather. It's much cooler here in the Bay Area generally. Summertime temperatures mid to upper 70s, and nighttime lows upper 50s. Of course, wintertime get colder, but I get my own insulation, yeah, being 300 pounds or more. So I like that about the Bay Area, the cooler air, the cooler weather. You can actually use blanket nighttime, no need air condition. Um, Shoots, what else from home? And
How about the cost of living?
the cost of living, the only biggest difference I see is fresh produce is cheaper here. Even gas prices is more expensive here in the Bay Area than at least Oahu. I think it might be close to the same price in Maui. Because I know Maui is the most expensive here when it comes to gas in the state.
Yeah.
Um, but pretty much housing, like renting, buying homes is around, well, actually more, probably 1.2, 1.3 million medium cost. And I actually just had a friend that relocated back home to Hawaii. He was originally from Waipahu, and he moved back home to Hawaii, and he sold. Their asking price for their home here in Fremont, they're living in Fremont, was like 1.75, and they ended up selling for just over 2 million. So,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of crazy how this, especially with the pandemic, how it's changed everything, right? At least as far as goods, services, buying, selling, and cost and all that. So, yeah, when it comes to housing, it's very similar to Hawaii. I mean, you get one studio, if you like get one studio generally in the Bay Area, 1,000 to 1,200, two bedrooms, and maybe like 2,500. So it's pretty high cost of living here in the Bay Area.
That's what I hear. California is pretty similar when it comes to the prices,
Yeah,
and Hawaii's price is
yeah,
pretty similar.
yeah.
So,
Just the difference is
wow.
the wages. That's what helps in California.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
How
yeah.
about the Hawaiian community? How is it up there?
It's huge. Been able, been blessed with the talent to play Hawaiian music. So shoot, I gig very often. I mean, especially this year, I've just been putting myself out there more. Whether as a soloist or with my Hawaiian trio quartet sometimes. Um, I also have a island reggae band too. So I mean, every weekend I'm around local people, and then we got big festivals, just like Vegas in the Bay Area, and um, even the hula competition Yaoe Kala, which is the longest running hula competition outside of Mary Monarch. Been able to play for that. Geez, for like at least 2011 was the first time I played for Halal from Chino Hills, California, which is in Southern California. Been able to work with a lot of Halal in the Bay Area. Halal na Viola from San Jose. The Academy of Hawaiian Arts, Markeli Ho'omalu. We played for them in 2019. And yeah, I mean, people ask me, oh, how is it like living in California? And like, if you're looking for something to buy from Hawaii, it's hard not to find it nowadays. I mean,
Yeah.
get Asian stores, get Hawaii type stores, and you can find fish, you can find lau lau, you can find luau leaf up here because the Asian stores they sell luau leaf. Um, Poi you can find. I mean, of course, it's gonna be a little more expensive, but yeah, it's hard not to find Hawaii stuff, snacks, lihimui. Even though for a little bit of time that lihimui was illegal to sell in the state of California because of one ingredient. Um, yeah, yeah, hard not to find local people, Hawaiian people, and feel like at home. Like yesterday, we had one of the aunties passed away. Auntie Lynn Tilton, originally from Keaukaha, 90 years old, beautiful woman. Oh, gonna miss that lady, but yeah, yesterday like 200 Hawaiians over there celebrating her life, and even the
Wow.
even the paina after Hawaiian music, Hawaiian food. Um, I was wondering because Auntie Lynn always had one stash of opihi in her freezer. I went over there. Hey, where opihi? Auntie Lynn always bust out the opihi. She's like, I think she took them home with her. I'm like, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah,
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that's always my concern about, our people, where they are, how
yeah,
much people is in
yeah,
that area that you are
yeah,
in, how you perpetuate
yeah,
our culture. And it
yeah,
sounds to me like you've been doing a lot to help perpetuate, especially with your
yeah.
music. So,
Just trying the best that we can. It's interesting because the people, the ones that I play with, they're all Hawaiian, all of them, at least part Hawaiian, or not but they all were born in. One was born in Hawaii, the rest was born and raised up here. One of them, I always like to share this with everybody, but Kaluna Kamai Polaire, he plays ukulele and guitar, and both the bands that were with, the Hawaiian one and the Island Reggae one, but his mom is pure Hawaiian, and it's talk about like the relocation here. So him, evidently in 2001 or 2002, New Year's, we was playing basketball together at Olu Street in Waimanalo. I knew about the mom because I grew up with Kaluna cousin in Waimanalo. Like Hanabara days, get into trouble, go beach, Amada's calling us home when the street lights go on. Hey, I forget home. And I knew that was up here, but just crazy that I get to make music with him and get a beautiful friendship with him and his mom and his dad. And even another one that plays guitar with us, Kerry Camacho, beautiful slacky. I mean, anything. Like, he might have heard, I like to describe it, whether he might have heard a song once in his life, once. And then I start playing like 10 seconds of the song, it comes to him, like the fingers start going and the melody of the song and everything start going. But his mom is from Molokai, dad is from Big Island. He's Portuguese, Hawaiian, um, plays slaki, guitar, beautiful. I mean, the kind like make you think of Hui Ohana, Uncle Led Ka Opana style of
oh,
guitar. That
nice.
and whenever he playing with us, I just feel. I mean, that's the music that my mom used to listen to growing up. I mean, of course, all the old school Hawaiian music, but just that they used to enjoy Uncle Ned Ka'apa's bass playing, because my grandfather was a bass player, and
Mm.
um, my grandfather is Albert Kalima Senior, Jesse Kalima's brother. So
Oh,
yeah, that's where the music come from, the Kalima family.
yep.
Yeah, my grandfather and his brothers, they were called the 1,000 Pounds of Melody, and I would fit perfectly into that group as a trio. That's average 333 pounds per person, so I'm perfectly right there.
It's a good one.
Yeah. And no, yeah, like I
I,
just fortunate to be able to meet Hawaiian people and play music with all these Hawaiians up here and perpetuate the
Maikaʻi.
culture, the language, the hula, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maikaʻi. I know what you mean because being a hula dancer all my life,
Hmm.
there is those songs that you hear and you just your hands want to start
Yeah,
moving,
yeah.
and in my mind I dancing the whole song. It depends where I am, if I get up and dance or not. But
Yeah.
yeah, that nahe nahe music. I
Yeah,
swear, I
yeah.
swear, Maikaʻi. So thank you for sharing some of your memories. I was
Yeah,
just
welcome.
wondering if you want to share any fond memories, and especially those memories that from back home in Hawaii that you really miss and wish you could continue having building those kind of memories
I think
today.
the biggest memories that I miss is my family, the ones that especially the ones that passed. Um,
Mm,
my uncle Alvin and Auntie Alberta Kalima, they were big influences in my life as far as music goes. They used to play 6 to 7 nights a week. That was their full-time job, playing music at Hilo Hawaiian Hotel, at the Menehune Lounge back in the 80s, and in the early 90s they made the Waioli Lounge, which still is there today. But I used to look forward to going to Hilo. Auntie used to live in Keaukaha, and I don't know if you're familiar with Hilo Hawaiian Sunday brunch, but you get Hawaiian food, you get crab legs, you get omelet station, you get waffle station. But I used to look forward to going there to eat and just listening to my auntie then play music. I mean, I was like 3, 4, 5, all the way up to like 12 years old, going into the bar, listening to music, and it wasn't a problem back then. I know. I mean, I know
mm,
some. I mean, I know some places still they let the kids come in, but that was just some of my fondest memories and the family get-togethers, playing music, and I'm just so fortunate too to like the Pahinuis. They were close
mhm.
family friends with us, with my mom. Them most of like Uncle Cyril, Uncle Martin. They were classmates with Uncle Martin. He was the youngest. I think he was classmates with my uncle, my mom's brother under her. And then Uncle Cyril was my Uncle Van's classmate, and they were super close. And just being able to call them as I was honing my craft of music here in California, that's where I really like honed it. I mean, I was playing in high school and all that, but I guess the time alone made me kind of mold to what I can do today. And I'm still learning. I still like to learn. My mom, I think it's something from my parents. I get tired of playing the same song. So when I get people like challenging me to, oh, you should do this song. I'm like, okay, give me some time. Let me listen to it, man. But
My
yeah,
Maikaʻi.
some of those fondest memories is my family members that have passed. And I'm the youngest cousin on both sides of my family. So I wish I was a little bit older because my mom, my family, my uncles and aunties, they share stories of people like Richard Kauhi. After my grandfather passed away, he came and played piano for hours. Um, and even all the older time musicians like Kui Lee, legends in Hawaiian music. Just having them show up in our yard. Oh, it's because the house that my mom grew up in, the same house that we live. My mom has it today, Homestead, and just hearing those stories of those legends in Hawaiian music at the time was pretty incredible. Yeah, sometimes I wish I was older just to experience that.
Maikaʻi. So because you brought up the issue about Homestead, you being raised
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
Homestead,
yeah.
yeah, I know it's how do you feel about the situation with, so much of our people wanting to get homestead, still on the list for years and years and never got it, yeah? And thankfully your ohana was fortunate
Yeah.
enough to get a lot.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I wish every Hawaiian had land in Hawaiian lands, basically like Brother Walter's song, "Keep Hawaiian lands in Hawaiian hands."
Right?
And it's sad. I mean, I heard a stat from late 2020, and they said, I think they surveyed about 1,000 people, and only 51% of them at that time in October 2020 was born in Hawaii. It blew my mind, but I also understood that because I know plenty. I mean, the longer I stay up here in the mainland, I see them. Every place I go, I play music up and down the West Coast, Hawaiian people come out. But I can't imagine that stat has probably dropped under 50%. It hurts. I mean, to see Hawaiian, especially kanaka maoli, living away from Hawaii, having to live away from Hawaii because they can't make it work in cost of living, and then even sometimes our health services, make some of our local people move away because we don't have some of the services in Hawaii. But it hurts. I mean,
I hear you, because housing is one of the biggest issues. Issues for our people, actually for everybody there. So homestead would absolutely help. But when I first started this project, I did some data research, and when you was talking about 2020, that's when the U.S. Census came out, and they did survey everybody throughout the nation, right? And unfortunately, when you look at that data, there's a lot of people living in Hawaii. Over 1 million people, but only 16% of those people is Hawaiian. But they group that 16% with Pacific Islanders. Yeah. So it's even less, because you got a lot of Pacific Islanders in Hawaii. So it's unfortunate that where's all our people, right? They all had to move. So that's kind of why I took on doing this podcast, just to talk story with our people and try and see, okay, how come you guys left and how are you doing?
Okay.
How can we help you, or just get the word out for people to understand what's happening to our kanaka maoli, especially.
And this is an awesome platform, and thank you for making a podcast like this, just to bring more education to the masses about and not just Hawaiian people, local people, but everybody, because the more and more I live up here, the more I try to educate too. Like the people not from Hawaii. I got offended when I first moved here, and some of my teammates in football was telling me, "Oh, you guys still live in grass huts?" And I thought that was like, what are you talking about? But like, the local boys start coming out. But the more and more I understand and even educate myself about how people born and raised in California, how they were raised and their schooling system, education, they weren't taught about Hawaii and the history of Hawaii. So I had to, bring myself back down and just kind of, if they don't know, then I tell them, educate them.
Teach them, educate them, yep. Okay, so Pomaikaʻi, I want to kind of redirect this conversation and talk about your career opportunity, because I know we've been talking about your music. So you've been doing that a lot, mostly at nighttime or on the side kind of business. And then now you have a wonderful career. So can you share a little bit about the career opportunities so we can see, other Kanakas, if they want, there's some opportunities out there. But can you share yours?
There's a lot of opportunities, especially in this Silicon Valley, Bay Area, with tech companies and all that. I'm not a techie guy, but me getting my bachelor's in mass communications, I didn't know what I wanted to get my college degree in when I first got there. But then I started noticing communications, in particular mass communications, which is mainly media, started kind of calling to me. So I was like, oh. And then to me at the time, it seemed easy, or the easiest major that I could choose, which, living it more efficiently is good, yeah. But I think it was easy to me because I enjoyed it. Kind of intertwined for me, with my music, with Hawaiian music, with music, period. So I ended up going down that road, taking classes like radio, introduction to radio. I actually had a small radio show in college. It was just on the school's. Actually, back in 2005, they started doing online radio. It was just the audio, of course, but it's funny to look back and see how the technology, how it's involved with radio and any media. But originally, it was just in the school. It was closed circuit. But then it evolved to going online, and then that's where I started to. I was always a big fan too of Hawaiian radio, like in Honolulu with Crash Ki Aloha, all the old timers. Briku Galuteria, Kimuka Wano. Somebody that Uncle Sam Kapu, his family, married to my mom's first cousin. And then over the years, and when I was in school, I was fortunate enough one summer to take my internship in Honolulu at KCCN and KINE Radio. So I got to friend all the ones that were working there at the time: Billy V, Lena Girl, Brother Wade Faldo, and Randy Hudno, who recently passed away. So
wow, Maikaʻi.
yeah, as far as my degree goes, that's what I want to do. Either when I move home to Hawaii, but now that I just think about saying that, like what you do with this podcast, we can do it from wherever we are in the world with how technology has evolved, and because people would ask me,
do it, Pomai.
People would ask me like, oh, what you gonna do? Or like, I wouldn't mind working in radio or media like that, but I don't know that pop music of today. That's like, I don't know it. I mean, I hear it on the radio. If somebody asked me to request me to sing it in one of my gigs, I might learn it and more appreciate the song. But for me, if I stayed here, really like long term, sports media would be what I would like to get into. But yeah, now I realized, only now the light go on in my head. Oh yeah, I'll only be in Hawaii for perpetuate Hawaiian music on radio, or like internet radio, or like your podcasts, and so many different avenues come to think about it. But as far as my job that I have today, I work as an engineer at a Courtyard Marriott hotel, and as far as a career, I've never been a person that can fix stuff like plumbing. I kind of knew plumbing a little bit, but electrical and all that kind of stuff was never me, but I've learned. And for me, I just kind of keep this day job, so because they're flexible in my schedule, so I can gig on weekends, or I can travel to play music at hula competitions up and down the West Coast.
Hey, that's important.
So yeah. So for me, my schedule is my most important thing. Like I have issues at work, namu, grumble a little bit, but nah. Then people who I tell, oh, so what, you gonna find a new job? Nah, I'm gonna stay because my schedule, they're flexible with it. I mean, I just gonna talk about them, grumble, but then, I still stick with it because my boss is really good at my schedule. Like, so that's why I try to, usually I don't work like right now. I usually don't work on Sunday evenings, but he needed somebody, so I worked this morning, then I came back for a few hours tonight, and so that question was really loaded as far as my answer and my reply was to the question. But yeah, that's music is my passion, and I some weekends this year, some weeks, 10 gigs in a week, and I've just been fortunate to be able to do that. And
wow.
Yeah,
Maikaʻi, keep up with your passion. Yeah,
thank you.
But you got to get something just to pay the bills, right? So.
Yeah. And the
So
discounts
yeah,
is too. And the discounts is good too when I
there you
gotta
go.
travel.
The discounts. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. But there is opportunity out there
Oh
for
yeah.
people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I mean, I know it's kind of a pre to the final question and thought, but of the this podcast, but I highly suggest young people from Hawaii, especially just this is just my opinion, but especially like um, Hawaiians, kanaka maoli. Like for me, that's all I knew growing up in a homestead, and from the um, kids, the ones that I grew up with, they some of them they hardly left the windward side to go into Honolulu, to go into town, and even some, unfortunately, I see some of my friends, their family get stuck in the drugs, the addiction. And it's funny how many of my friends I see, if they just got out of Waimanalo or even just got out of Hawaii, how much their life changed for the better, do positive things in their life. And that's just me.
So your final message is pretty much get out there, right?
Yeah, I highly suggest. I mean, home is gonna be there. I mean, I know changes and all this, but so many opportunities. See the world. I mean, Hawaiian people, local people, get out there. So much to see in the world, not just in the mainland. I mean, I've been fortunate to be able to travel uh, internationally, Mexico, Barbados. I mean, I've been to 25 of the 50 states.
Wow.
Yeah, I enjoy traveling too. Yeah, just get out there. So much to see. Like I said, I've been to 25 states. And my goal is to get to all 50 one day. Um, of course, travel more to different countries. And yeah.
Maikaʻi. Just a little bit about our Hawaiian history. Our monarchs and our
Yeah.
people back then, they left Hawaii,
Yeah.
got educated,
Yeah.
experienced the world, and brought that ike back
Yeah.
to our
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
to help run the country. So
Yeah.
so yeah, you did it right. You're out there, you're
Yeah.
gaining experience, you did your schooling, maybe
Yeah.
one day you go back home, right?
Yeah. That's
And then
the
share it.
plan. That's the plan, to go back home. And I'm glad you brought up the monarch, how our monarchs was in traveling and bringing back ike. And the longer I live here, I know most people know about Kalakaua, him passing in the Palace Hotel in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And in the lobby, there's two thrones that Kalakaua uh, gifted to the Palace Hotel, which still is there today. It's in the lobby. I just did a gig
Oh, I
there.
did not know that.
Yeah, and there's a plaque stating how much Kalakaua loved San Francisco, Palace Hotel in particular. So he gifted them two thrones. It's still in the lobby. I had a gig there a month ago. And I didn't know that until 2019 when I had a gig there for the first time. And I was just looking at the thrones and I read the plaque. I was like, whoa, Kalakaua. I know he passed here, but yeah, the thrones and so much other history in the Bay Area, like with musicians, like um, Uncle Jerry Santos. He wrote Ku'uhome o Kahalu'u while he was living in San Francisco in 1975. And then Uncle Willie K, he spent like 10 years living here in the Bay Area. And then also learned that Kaiulani even went to a school in a town called Benicia, which is just outside of San Francisco. So much history and Hawaiian history.
Princess Kaiulani.
Yeah, Princess Kaiulani. And yeah, I'm just so fortunate that been blessed to be in a place that I can continue our traditions in music, in language, in hula, and still thrive as not just a kanaka maoli, but just as a person and a human. Yeah.
Maikaʻi.
Yeah.
Maikaʻi. Or do you have anything else you want to share before we close?
Thank you for reaching out to me about your podcast, and the more I know podcast has been a big thing for the last 3 to 5 years, but the more I see Hawaiian people do it, makes me proud. I mean, to get something out there. And me and the two other guys that play music, but we've been talking about possibly doing a podcast nowadays, because not nowadays, one day, but our schedules are so crazy. But I think with them, they can share their experiences of being a Hawaiian, growing up in California, and how that was for them. Because there's a song actually that I wrote, I got inspired by them. And it was a co-written, the last verse of the song was written by a female singer, Kanoi Kahaku. And it's called Mainland Hawaiians. And it kind of comes from their experiences growing up in California. And there's a line in the song that says, we practice our culture each day while we're living in the Bay. And that's that's so true, like with us. And even the more I let people listen to that song and they hear the lyrics and I see them, it touches their heart. And as a musician, as a composer, at least, I don't write much songs because my brain is all over the place when I try to write something. But just on this song just came out from the heart. And I mean, there's also a line that I talk about how, sometimes when I'm guilty of this, when get family that move away or they grow up in the mainland, especially when I was young growing up, then they come visit for the summer or for whatever, yeah. It's like, of course, our pidgin, that's how we grow up talking, and I hear them talk their proper English. Oh, how come you talk like that for? Tease them, yeah, and I'm guilty of that, so I threw a line like that in the song, and I think it's good to know from a mainland Hawaiian's perspective and kanaka maoli or a local person's perspective, like different sides, like why they view people who move away, at least back then. Even it's changed since then, but just to see their take on each side. And if they come together, talk about it, they'll be like, just people just talk about certain subjects, they could be educated in a way that, like, wow, I never thought about it like that. I know I just was teasing you, but, I can understand if you're teasing a person, it'll get, might be a bit heart-wrenching for them. But so, yeah, like your podcast, I mean, great. I mean, just to share and just bring something to the table we can talk about, get educated, and, your perspective can change, or you can continue to enhance what you have as a person or your views. Yeah.
Oh, mahalo. Yeah. My advice to you is do it. Holomoa, do it.
I know. I should.
Let's get that Kanaka voices out there. So, Maikaʻi. Well, I want to thank you so much for sharing your story, sharing your experience, and just spending time with me, and just sharing everything. So I'm so happy. And I want to commend you for being brave to leave Hawaii and do what you do. And maybe one day take that Ike back home. So Maikaʻi.
Yeah. Mahalo for having me.
Yes, thank you again. Mahalo.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that session, because I know I did. I'm so glad Pomaikaʻi is out there in the big world doing his thing and perpetuating his culture by sharing his musical talent. Maikaʻi loa Pomaikaʻi. That's so awesome. Well, it's time to sign off. But before you leave, if you're listening to this podcast on a podcast app, please make sure you're clicking on that plus icon so you can get notifications when new episodes are released. And, of course, make sure you press that stars and rate this show. Believe me, it really helps me with the listing of this show. Okay, everyone. I hope you have a Maikaʻi day, and I hope you return for the next episode on Hawaii Abroad Audio Podcast. I am Auntie Max signing out. Aloha!